Welcome to Maya's Marmalade's sewing slash computer room slash podcast filming setup now.
This is us.
Yay!
I mean, look, we're trying to do once a week.
We've got our little award.
It's back there.
It's very little, isn't it? It's very small.
It's actually quite big.
I'm joking. It's huge. What's it called?
It's a plaque. It's a
plaque of invitation.
Oh,
Award of invitation.
They call it a letter. It's a pretty big letter.
That's a big letter. Anyway, welcome to my place. That's why the setup looks a bit different today.
The setup's different because we're trying to do once a week, and sometimes we just can't make it to my place, and sometimes we just come here and we record.
Hope that's okay.
Oh,
thumbs up if that's okay.
Give us some feedback. What do you think of Maya's place?
Yeah, I've got my yen face stuff in the back there, little dragon that Benny
the lighting
made.
we've got. It's kind of warm.
Is it? Yeah, we tried to go for the blues to match the other setup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think with the warm lamp, it looks cozy. It's good.
Cozy. Nice. It's a fireplace.
All right. Here we are. G'day. Episode 4. Episode 4. Here we are. Welcome back to Just Because. Now, in this episode, what are we talking about, Maya? What are we talking about?
I think I remember. I think it is the longevity of cosplay.
Longevity of cosplay. What does that mean? It's like, how long does cosplay last? Now, what do we mean by that?
Like the hobby. How long you could interact with it and do it as a hobby, right?
As a hobby, yeah. Because
right?
you were like, oh, what are we talking about this for?
No, I was like, I think it's like not the longevity of a certain costume, right?
Not the longevity of a certain costume, but of cosplay itself. Because, look, I'm a 30-something now, and you're a 20-something. And, you know, I've often had it several times in which I thought to myself, I'm quitting. I'm done for one reason or another. Mm-hmm. And over the years, I've seen friends come and go, and I make new friends, and friends come and go. So my hypothesis, I'm going to just put it out there, is that most people who cosplay these days, would you agree that they're generally, 15 to 25? A good, 80, 90% of people?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
So wait, you say 15?
50? 15, 1-5.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
15 to 25.
Yeah.
So my hypothesis is you've got until about the age of 25 to 30 and you're going to quit. That's kind of my hypothesis. How does that make you feel as a 20-something?
I don't know, kind of weird, but I kind of see it because, I don't know.
I mean, that's my hypothesis because I'm a 30-something, so I'm already past that threshold. So by all rights, I should have quit.
You should have. Okay, then why are you still here?
Why am I still here? Well, okay, look, let's go through it. I wrote down some notes. If I keep looking down, that's what it's all about. So I think why initially did you get into cosplay? Was there any particular thing that was like, wow, this is amazing. I'm going to keep doing it for this reason?
That's funny you asked that because literally at the weekend at ACCON they literally asked that. I think that was like the first question that they asked was like, how did you get into cosplay? And I'm like, oh gosh, how can I even think about this? It's something you don't even think about anymore. It's like why you started or like how like what triggered that reaction.
You're like, once you're in it, you're in it.
Yeah,
it's kind of like saying, why did you like eating McDonald's when you first had it? You're like, oh, I like the Happy Meal toy. I don't know, the burger tasted nice. It was a special thing that my parents did for me. Oh, it could be any number of reasons.
There's lots of reasons. Yeah, exactly. What got me into cosplay? I think the community. Realizing it wasn't just like a thing that you do by yourself. It's like, oh, you do this with friends. Yeah. And you can do it with your friends, and it's like a fun thing that you do together. It's like a social thing. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's like getting dressed up for a party. But
for a party.
Yeah.
Just with people that you like hanging out with, and sometimes you match.
Yeah. And then there's the opportunity to meet more people who also might have similar interests to you.
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
Are like, it used to be that it was like non-normative things. I don't know, like more nerdy things. Whereas now it's like so mainstream to like anime. Whereas back when I first joined the scene, it was like, oh, these people like anime. I'm not weird for liking anime
niche,
here.
Right?
Yeah.
So you find people who are like-minded and
Well, do you remember like anime used to be weird? Like it used to
absolutely.
be like in high school if people would not bully, but like make fun of me.
Make fun of you.
For
like, oh, Naruto, what's that? Yu-Gi-Oh, what's that?
Or like, oh, Maya, you like those like anime Japanese stuff,
You're one of those people.
Yeah.
And now you find Naruto on Culture King shirts. It's great.
No, they'll be like, oh, you like that hentai stuff, right? Like immediately jump. No, really. Yeah, right. They'll immediately jump to like conclusions and like make it weird.
I think for me it was
just because they don't understand.
Yeah.
They've never actually tried.
That's what we all thought. It's like, you guys just don't understand. You don't know what Naruto means to me. Oh, that's how I felt.
I just laughed it off. I was like, yeah, haha.
Well, that's what I'm into, yeah. Well, the reason I ask is because I think as you kind of do cosplay, you know, feel free to disagree, but I feel like you start going to cons, and when you first start going to it, it's a pretty cool experience. It's new.
It is.
You're like, wow, anime stuff everywhere.
Everywhere, yeah.
And other people who like anime stuff everywhere.
Yeah.
And, you know, you go to a con, maybe you meet people and you start dressing up together and you make plans to dress up together. And you're like, cool, let's do the next con and we'll make this plan for this day, this plan for this day, if you can afford it or whatever it might be.
I think it's addictive, going back to what you just first
absolutely.
said with the first initial con experiences, because like when you're around something that makes you really excited, in mainstream like crowds of friends, they might not understand it and they might think you're weird and you might get like a very judgmental reaction, whereas if you're at a convention and you have an exciting, like a happy reaction to something and other people come and they enable that happy reaction, they're like, you feel extra good about that, and then you want to keep going back because it's addictive. Because you know, you're safe there to express your love for anime for manga, games, everything.
It's funny because I think initially the first thing I kind of did when I went to a convention, I went with my brother and one of his friends, and when I started cosplaying, my brother didn't want to have anything to do with me. I mentioned that before. It's okay. Sad. We love each other now, and he accepts me for who I am. But one of the first things I did was like try a bunch of everything. So I played some Pokemon card tournament for a while. I got my ass handed to me by a 6-year-old.
Me too.
I entered a drawing competition. As well. Because I quite like drawing at the time.
For Smash or for?
No, just for Supernova.
Okay.
Once upon a time.
Nice.
Back in 2000.
Weird. Do they still do that?
I don't think so.
I don't think they still do that.
It's something they did once upon a time.
I feel like they used to do way more.
Yeah, they
had like
the
bingo.
The AMV competition.
Yeah.
That was cool. Anyone remember what an AMV is?
Yeah, I love AMVs.
Anime music videos.
Yeah.
If you have never heard of an AMV before, go onto YouTube, type in Naruto AMV.
What's your favourite AMV?
Oh, it was... I really liked the Evanescence Bring Me to Life ones. and what's that Cascada song? It's like, every time we touch, I get...
Okay, no. I have a specific one in it.
Can
you name a specific one?
No.
See, AMVs are so iconic that if you go and watch the Rah Rah Rasputin Full Metal Alchemist AMV, you will...
That was your favourite?
No, it's just so iconic.
Right.
It will stay in your head forever. You'll always remember it. Every time I hear Rasputin, I think of the FMA AMV.
Right. There's
CMV? AMV. CMV is cosplay
music video. I think that kind of took
People
the place.
also made those.
Made those as well, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
You should... Have you seen the Full Metal
Alchemist? Not the Rasputin one. You'll have to show me later.
You have to watch it.
It's a time.
It's really well done. Because it like... I don't know, it makes... You know Armstrong? So like... You know FMA.
I know
Armstrong.
FMA,
yeah, they make him like Rasputin and they somehow like have... Because FMA is so long.
Yeah.
There's probably like enough source material for them to make a really good, solid like
kind
AMV.
of make a story out of...
Yes!
Out of him being
It's
Rasputin.
so well
That's
done.
funny.
It's so well done. We'll watch it after.
Okay, cool. What was I going with
Sorry,
that?
massive tangent.
That's what we're all about.
Going to conventions.
So I go to conventions.
Happy. Yay.
Started doing...
Exciting.
Well, I started doing drawing and stuff, right? That was my
right.
thing. And I think it's still a goal of mine is to kind of write a comic, get that published eventually at some stage.
Yeah.
But obviously it's a long process. You have to kind of learn the craft. You have to kind of,
Be good at storytelling.
Be good at storytelling.
Yeah.
Learn how to draw the way that you want to draw. And obviously it's a process. But I think for cosplay, I spent some time making a costume, and I think it was like that instant gratification of people going like, oh my god, wow, you're this character, you're like my favorite character, can I get a picture? And I think that was probably one of the first times I, let's say, felt gratified, I suppose. Felt a bit of acknowledgement for the work that I put into something, and instead of having to work X number of days, months, weeks, years kind of learning this craft on something. It was just, here's a costume, wear it, look good.
Oh, so it was a bought one.
It was a bought.
Okay.
Oh, actually, no, I couldn't buy things back then.
Yeah.
I did have to make things, like edited clothes.
Yeah.
But...
so you like put it together?
Put it together.
Okay, yeah.
And I think that was kind of...
It was quick.
It was quick.
Okay.
It was quick, and that gratification and meeting people was something I didn't really know how to do. That was like my thing. I was like, if I cosplay, I'll meet people. Obviously, there's another story in there later. That's for another thing altogether. But I think that's... I mean, someone correct me if I'm wrong. I think that's a reason why a lot of us like to do it, because
at the start,
because we get noticed, we get recognition, we get an opportunity to talk to people which we probably would have never had the opportunity to otherwise, or we kind of some people like to say, I like wearing this costume because it makes me feel like the character.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up. It's like, I think a bigger reason is why people start is because they really identify with a certain character and want to emanate certain aspects of their personality or their characteristics and traits and want to emanate that and embody that in their own selves. So when they cosplay them, it's really like gratifying in that sense, where they feel more powerful, they feel more sexy, they feel more confident,
more comfortable,
whatever, more comfortable in their own skin as someone else, and kind of picking up their own traits in
that way,
or like bringing it out of themselves, because obviously it still is that person.
Yeah,
so it just brings that out of you. Yeah, I think that's why a lot of people do it at the start.
I think so too.
Yeah,
I think so too.
Really love a character.
And then we meet friends eventually, which is usually the natural process of things.
It took me ages though.
Yeah.
It
does.
It took me like 3 or 4 years of going to conventions before I like actually started making friends.
It's going to be a future topic, and I want to bring that up later.
Okay.
Is my tier level of friends. It's so good.
The freaking tier level.
Oh, look, I'm going to explain it to you right now.
Okay, I already know it.
You know
you
it.
Can
okay.
Explain it to them.
So this is my tier level of friendship, which I think I've kind of... I kind of realised I had to do some soul searching for this. Because, you go to...
Recently or when you made it?
No, when I made it.
Yeah.
Especially when I made it.
Yeah.
But I think it's something good to always come back to. Mm-hmm. Because, again, the whole topic is, how long does cosplay last? Why am I still in it as a 30-something-year-old? This is one of the reasons which I kind of had to really search deep for. The tier list. Okay. Jeremy's tier level of friendship, everybody. Here we go. So, typically there's 4 tiers. You can make up your own. Typically. I mean, some people might say, this is 5 or 6. Oh, this is a 5th. No. So, tier 4 being the highest, tier 1 the lowest. Tier 1, so if you don't know them, so they're a complete stranger, they're walking by, maybe, you wave, cool. But you don't know them. You don't know their name. You don't know anything about them. That's not on the list. Okay? That's just a stranger. Tier 1 are people that you go to a con and you're like, hey, how you going? You know them. You've seen them before. Maybe you've said hi. Maybe you've taken a selfie before, but the conversation's not very deep. The conversation goes, hey, how you going? How's your day been? I like your costume. I'm going to go now. Nice catching up. That's it. Like, you know them by face, you know their name, but there's nothing real deeper than that. And there's nothing wrong. Mind you, there's nothing wrong with being on any of these tiers. It's just how you personally relate to different people. Tier 2. Tier 2 is where you can say, hey, hi. You have a conversation that goes maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes. You're glad to kind of have a bit of a chat with this person. You go to a convention and you're glad to see them again. But again, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, chat about, how's your day been? Oh yeah, yes. Work was pretty good. Oh yes, I did buy. Look at this statue I bought. It's fun. It's a bit of a general conversation. But you probably wouldn't hang out with this person outside of the convention scene. Because, I don't know, maybe you don't click, maybe there's just nothing really in common apart from cosplay itself. Again, nothing wrong with that, but that's a tier 2. Tier 3. Tier 3 friendship. This is where you do want to hang out with them outside of cons. You do want to have a conversation, you do get on to some extent, and it's like, hey, let's catch up for coffee, let's go catch a movie sometime, whatever it might be. But then what's the difference between tier 3 and tier 4? Tier 4 is like, those are for your besties. Those are the ones that you have those DNMs with. Those are the ones you're happy to kind of open up your heart to a little bit and share something a bit more personal. That's tier 4. Some people are like, but this person's a tier 5. Look, this is my list. You can do whatever you want with it. But that's a tier friendships.
Yeah.
Why is this relevant?
I was going to say, wow, you're really giving them the whole
Give them the whole shebang. Okay. Because the reason I think I get into cosplay in the first place, the reason I still go, is because at a point in my life, I felt like, why am I doing cosplay? What have I gotten out of this? How many close friends do I have? And I found out nearly most of my social circle these days, it's in some way, shape or form, I've met them through cosplay. I think that's been a pretty big part of my life. And so one of the things that I did have to do was kind of think to myself, how many people am I really close to that I still want to do cosplay for? And I found out I've got like 2 people. 2 people that were tier 4. Everyone else is like tier 1 or tier 2. And I thought, God, what am I doing? So I kind of had to reevaluate, okay, what am I doing wrong? Like, what should I do differently? Because I still really like it. It's still fun to do. But...
you sure?
Oh, I have to ask myself that every year.
Every time you put on a costume.
Every time I put on a costume, it's like, why do I still do this? Well, for you, you've obviously made quite a few friends through cosplay, and, some come and go. But obviously friends are still a big reason that you still go to conventions, but do you feel like I'd say tier 3, tier 4 friends? Do you still hang out with a lot of those friends outside of conventions?
Tier 3, tier 4. See, the issue I have with your list is that people are constantly moving up and down. Well,
that's just it. Yeah, people will move up and down. That's the thing about it.
But no, it's like every time I see them, it's a movement, or like, I don't know. I struggle to like take your framework and input my
it doesn't,
social circle.
You can do what you want with it. You can say, this is terrible. Jeremy, your social circle sucks.
Well, no, I feel like I'm constantly aiming to have a higher level of friendship with pretty much everyone that I meet. So
I think that's good.
Yeah. I don't know. But in terms of like tier 3 and tier 4 friends, if I'm trying to apply my framework, see, I'm confused. What was the question? If I would
well, that's the thing.
If I would cosplay with them, or if I would hang out with them in real life.
Yeah, if you would hang out with them.
The justification of a tier 3 and 4 friend is that you hang out with them in real life.
Yeah. And some people you will kind of see at a convention.
Yeah.
And you'll say hi and you'll have a conversation, but you probably won't, hang with them outside of a con. Maybe you just don't have that chemistry. You don't bounce with each other as naturally.
I feel like I'm just too busy.
Yeah, you might be.
I'm too busy to see all my friends.
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, we make time to do this.
We do.
If it wasn't for that, I'd see you next con.
Even then, you weren't at ACACon.
Yeah, well, I was busy. I was doing stuff.
See, busy. Everyone's busy.
Everyone's busy. But
everyone's busy.
A good friend.
You make time for them.
You'll make time for, or they'll understand.
Yeah.
They'll understand.
I just wish that, at ACACon on the weekend, I just kept thinking about how nice it would be if everyone just lived in the same neighborhood, because then we could all just hang out.
That would be nice.
Like you did, like after school with friends. You could just be like, hey, going down to the park now, want to hang out?
I mean, I think that was the easy thing about being a kid and being younger. Literally. It's just, you go to school together, so therefore by extension, you kind of live within the same vicinity, and you could easily hang out.
Yeah. Whereas you have to because you have to plan it, you have to book it, you have to both be available, you have to make sure it's an activity that you both like doing.
That's friends as an adult, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just kind of, what's your schedule like? Not good?
Boring.
Oh, see you next month, right?
Pretty much. I started asking people at ACACon, I was like, okay, what days are you free? And I would
trying to write that into your...
I had a little notes app going, being like, okay, these people, their best day is this day.
Yeah. I mean, you try to make room for them, right?
Yeah, because I do want to see them, so yeah.
But
it's difficult.
It is difficult.
I would say that, yes, the main reason I am doing cosplay and going to conventions is to connect with people and meet other people. Absolutely. Because that's how that's what I enjoy the most.
Yeah.
It's not I literally this weekend past, I wore the most comfiest costumes because I was like, I don't want to do photo shoots. I just want to meet people and be comfortable.
Well, that's because I think as time goes on, you've started to do lots of costumes. You've started to do the things that you've always wanted to do.
Even the WCS costume I made, it's not that impressive. It's just really comfy.
Hey, you scored top marks for that thing. Mine's not comfy.
Jackets and a little top.
I wish that were me, but no, I'm not wearing mine outside of a competition. But on that note, I think the initial reason we go is to connect with people, and maybe along the way we you've learnt to make costumes really well to a high degree that you look at nearly any costume that you want to make and you're like, I can make that.
I guess so, yeah.
Or if we're lazy in this day and age, we're pretty fortunate that we just go buy XYZ costume and it's pretty readily available.
Yeah.
But
I've always been more drawn to make than buy, because the bought ones always look crap. They always look boring, and I'm like, why is this?
Or it requires quite a bit of
altering. Yeah.
But as time goes on, you've only watched so much anime in your life.
That's true.
And you could probably agree that the series that you connect the most with are probably ones that you grew up with. It's ones that you watched when you were, in high school or when you just started cosplay.
Yes, but there was... I get what you're trying to say, but there was one recently that I watched where I was like, damn, this is actually really good. But even, some of the newer ones that come out as they go, Demon Slayer. I freaking love Demon Slayer.
Great.
And Evangelion I hadn't seen until much later into my cosplay
career.
Yeah, I guess so, if you want to sort of call it that. But, those are series that I watched later. Flip Flappers, some of the best anime.
Some of the good stuff,
Yeah, I watched much later in my career. Those old nostalgic ones that I grew up with are kind of a faint, fuzzy memory that I'm like, oh, they're good. But I won't rant about it to other people. Whereas Flip Flappers, I'm like, have you seen Flip Flappers?
No, I haven't.
No, see? It's only 13 episodes about two little girls going on magical adventures and they do cool, crazy shit.
Sounds fun.
It's great.
That sounds fun. Give it a try. Well, the reason I say that is because I think this year alone, I think I've just watched Spy Family.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And,
But are you a big movie person?
Not really.
Yeah, see,
I'm
I
not
think...
really a big consumer
of any kind of screen media.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not
See,
really...
as I was always a movie fanatic
Yeah?
as well, so...
I mean, when I was younger, I watched whatever anime I could get my hands on, right?
Okay.
But good or bad, like, I'll remember the...
Was that out of boardom, though?
Who knows?
Okay.
Who knows?
Yeah.
I think at the time it was like cosplay was the only thing that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So watch something. I want to make that. Watch something. That wasn't very good. But
I went through a phase like that and I started hating it.
yeah.
Where every new show you would watch, you'd like wait to pick out the character
Wait to
that
pick
you
out the
would suit
character.
and that you would want to cosplay. And I got really sick of it because
Right.
I was like, okay, I'm not actually enjoying the
process of
no,
just...
I'm not enjoying the story itself.
Right.
I'm not consuming the actual movie and the art like from it. Instead, I'm just trying to like
self-impose yourself on a character. And
what can I get out of this?
Yeah.
Rather than just watching it and presently
Right.
observing and taking in the story and the message behind the work, rather than just the appearance of a character.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Because the biggest difficulty I think I have nowadays is I kind of start to run out of things that I want to cosplay because I don't watch as much as I used to, or
You don't connect with
I don't connect with it as much because I'm obviously 30-something. I don't really connect with something where it's like, oh, they're in high school having adventures, right? I will not cosplay a high school student anymore. I'm done with that part of my life. But even then, anything that I watched...
Oh, I thought of the show that I was trying to think of.
Yeah?
It was Wonder Egg Parody.
Oh, right. That's
That only just came out like recently. And
I mean, it's still your display picture on Instagram this year.
yeah,
it hasn't changed, so it's obviously
so good.
It means something to you.
It does. The ending was shit, but we don't talk about
we don't talk about that.
We don't talk about it.
No, like I'm looking forward to finding more things that I want to cosplay,
Yeah.
but I think it just gets less and less, and my
Motivation.
nostalgia list
yeah.
is getting smaller and smaller. So as I kind of run out of things to cosplay bit by bit, you might think, oh, there's always new stuff coming out. There's always something new to cosplay. There is, but I'd have to like it first, and I'm just not consuming as much media as I used to.
Yeah.
So I think in terms of that, I don't know if that's just me getting older or just not relating to things as much, or am I not liking it? Like, I still like watching anime every now and then, but maybe my threshold for like, if this is a 10 out of 10 series, gonna watch it. Is this like a 7 out of 10? Maybe I'll watch it, right?
Your standards have just changed.
I think it's changed after
Yeah.
you've watched so much.
Yeah.
But I've had a real hard time, I think. One time, I was really close to quitting.
Quitting cosplay.
Quitting cosplay because of Code Geass.
Why?
It was so good.
Oh, yeah, I know.
I loved it. It was so good. I watched it, and I was there at 2 a.m. like, nothing's ever going to be this good. Nothing's ever going to be this good.
Why would that make you quit, though?
Because after that, I'm like, well, I'm done with anime, because nothing's ever going to top this.
But what's that got to do with cosplay?
Well, what saved it was the next series I watched, which was Gurren Lagann.
Okay.
Which was amazing. I was like, no, anime saved, and I still want to keep watching things.
Code Geass. A good anime isn't meant to ruin anime for you.
That's what I thought too.
Show you what's capable and a good
capable,
story
yeah.
and a good character design and everything. Good conflict, everything.
Yeah. But, no,
Have you cosplayed Code Geass?
Oh, have I cosplayed Code Geass? Of course I have.
You have. It's your profile picture. I'm so sorry.
Still my profile picture.
See, there you go.
Shows how much we know about each other,
Yeah.
gosh.
No, I remembered.
Hey?
I remembered.
You did remember. Okay. Good. I'm glad. So other goals for like getting into cosplay. We've mentioned friends. I think after a period of time, especially when you start making things,
Yeah.
I think it's pretty natural that we kind of want to challenge ourselves, that we start doing competitions, right? As we've kind of done.
Yeah.
Do you think that you're still going to enter competitions as time goes on?
I'm not sure. It just depends because like I had a bit of a weird experience coming off WCS. I was like, let's try it because CRX got announced and there was like a good prize for the competition. I thought, okay, let's challenge myself.
Cash prize, right?
It was like $5,000
$5,000
cash prize. I was like, that's so cool.
Yeah, so you did pretty good too.
I didn't place, so but
Looks
it was kind of like the whole experience of like getting that cosplay ready, and I think it's also because I entered solo, and like entering solo versus in a partnership or a group or anything is like so different. So it was a lot more stress and anxiety, and I didn't enjoy the experience as much.
Interesting.
And it felt a lot more like competitive or I don't know. I think I was just in a bad headspace, so I don't know if I'll keep entering competitions, to be honest.
Yeah, right. Okay.
I don't know. Like, I'm not going to enter WCS next year.
Right, well, we can't. We're not allowed to.
No. Like, other competitions, I'm not going to enter the ACACON competition. I'm a judge.
You're a judge, so you can't do that.
The only really event would be, Supernovas, hell no. Hell no.
Hell no, fair enough.
And then OzComic-Con maybe, the ECG, is it called that? The Championships of Cosplay?
I think so, yeah.
It's at such an elite level, like, I don't really know if I feel like doing that to myself.
Well, you to see, like, either you've gone a far way, and it's just up to you at that point, like, oh, do I want to go further?
No, I think if it's the choice between, like, okay, do I make a super elite, high-level cosplay for this competition and win, or do I do a really fun group cosplay with my friends?
Yeah.
Way rather try and do the big friendship.
Yeah.
Yeah, because out of 10, like, absolutely.
I think because my last partnership was purely based around just doing comps.
That's right. You have way more.
No, I've just
way more experience than I do with this.
Stuff that I've done probably more comps over the years.
Yeah.
But I think because of that, I did get a little bit burnt out, and I thought I'm not really enjoying this anymore. And so I went back to just doing fun things with friend groups and stuff, and that was way more enjoyable.
Yeah.
So I think just on my same kind of in a similar vein, I'm probably not going to do any more comps.
No. Also, because like I feel like a reason people enter comps is to like gauge their level of skill.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing to challenge yourself.
No, but I found that every time I got feedback from a comp, I felt more disheartened than I would like. I don't know. A lot of people do already know kind of how they can improve.
Yeah.
On things.
Because you're your own worst critic, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Unless you're like super like unaware of what level you think you are. If you have no clue whatsoever, then maybe enter a comp. But for me, every time I interact with, maybe they were just a little bit hot, like. Maybe I was in a bad headspace, I'm not sure, but like I never took the feedback very well in the past. I'm talking about when I first joined cosplay.
Yeah, right.
Not the recent events that I've done, but when I first joined, I remember there was like, do you remember the Epic DM events?
Epic DM?
Oh, that horrible little event that happened in the RNA showgrounds.
No.
Back in like 2014.
No.
In the sheds.
I remember the sheds.
Where the cows
I don't know what
go.
Epic DM is.
Yeah, it was called Epic DM. I have some horrible photos of it. Anyway, I entered the competitions. That was back when I was still learning to sew, so I felt like, oh, I'll see how good I am.
See how good you are at this point,
yeah. No.
Wow, interesting.
Very nice.
Interesting.
Wouldn't recommend.
I think feedback's another kind of sketchy area. I think it's either it's something that you want to hear because you're genuinely interested, or it's something that, hey, look, I kind of know how I did personally. The result of the competition speaks enough. I probably don't need to, hear it from someone else.
Yeah. I know it's a bit controversial, but I think that is another reason why people get into cosplay, and we definitely saw that over like 2020, and when people were in lockdowns is when people were online more, and they kind of a whole wave of, I think, cosplayers started in 2020 because they kind of discovered it online, saw the community online, saw what's possible online, saw that you can get a following, saw how popular anime was getting, and there was a few waifus that totally popped off, like 02 absolutely went like off the rails. I would say even Miku's getting to that level as well.
Miku's second renaissance. I love it.
Like Rem, like all these characters that you can cosplay and know that you'll get attention for it. Which is something that we didn't have back when in 2014, 2012. We had
DeviantArt.
Well, yeah, but you wouldn't like cosplay a character knowing that you're gonna get hype for it. Whereas like these days, I can kind of tell from some people just off interactions online or seeing their posts, the way they post, like, and also a bit like how fast they go through costumes. They just kind of pump out whatever's trending, like. All the Spy Family cosplayers, like, at the start, who just pushed out content, like, so quickly.
What you mean? Because, honestly, I'm just, like, power to them if you want to do that.
Honestly, yeah. But I think it's a reason that
it is a reason.
Start doing cosplay. It's like, oh, that's popular now. I'm going to do it.
Well, the thing is, I think as long as they enjoy that, then cool. If they get the clout as a result, cool. But
absolutely.
I think I had this kind of realization very recently, because I caught up with a friend recently for lunch I haven't seen in a while. And I said, oh, you haven't seen him cosplay for a while. And they said, oh, I got to like 25,000 followers on TikTok. And I said, oh, well, got the goal. I was like, oh, yay. That was it. Like, I just don't feel like doing cosplay anymore. Because, I think some people, you get the numbers, get 500,000 followers, get 1 million followers. But what do you want to do? Do you just want to, do you like people saying, oh, I love your costume. Yay, lots of love hearts. Like, cool. Like, if you like that. But I don't think that's going to be something that lasts because you'll get it once, you get it twice, but after I was like, oh, I know I can post a costume and get those likes, but what else? So I think that kind of comes into how long does cosplay last. I think that kind of thing would only take you a couple of years at most.
Depends how hard you're going.
Depends how hard you're going.
Because
some people will make a business out of it, sure.
Well, no, I mean, like, if you're doing it, like, every day, you're going to burn out a lot faster.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Whereas if you're pacing yourselves and still doing that, maybe you can give it, like, 5-10 years.
Yeah, well, that's like I said, as long as you enjoy it, because you might do it for a year, it's like, oh, had enough of this, and you stop. Because this kind of comes back to our initial question, how long does it last? Because I think that online clout, to me, isn't enough of a reason to want to continue to do it.
No, it's so fragile as well. You never know what the algorithms are doing.
Oh,
well, imagine... I see so many popular cosplayers who just gets their accounts deleted. Like Willow,
they just delete it.
Yeah, especially like some Australian ones that I really love, like Willow Wisps and Becky, both lost their accounts, I think, on TikTok.
Wow.
Just gone.
Did they do something on TikTok? No. Was like, I don't like this?
Well, yeah, who knows? Who knows? Just gone. I think their Instagrams too. It's really sad.
My goodness.
Yeah, with like multiple 100,000 followers. Yeah.
And it'd be very demoralizing, obviously.
I mean, I don't know, but
I mean,
I would hate that. I like live in fear of the
fear of the
Instagram algorithm being like, one day I'll wake up and it's all gone.
I mean, that's I think part of it. I think if you, again, personal take, if you really liked what you did, you wouldn't let that control you. So say for whatever reason my Instagram account was deleted today.
Yeah, but if it's your business and if you rely on it for like your income, then
that's just it. I think if you relied on it for your business and people liked your business, they were like, oh, what happened to it? And it's like, oh, they started a new account. I'll just follow the new account.
Yes and no. It's hard to build up the same level because like a lot of what Reach does now, like especially with Instagram and TikTok, like it just shows it to random people who like, I don't know, TikTok has like,
I'm getting a lot of engineering and welding videos lately.
Okay, well, TikTok has billions of active users. They're not all going to remember all their favorite cosplayers' names, unfortunately. So
I agree.
if you wouldn't even notice if like unfortunately your feed, your algorithm, what you're being fed, if you lost one of your engineering videos, would you notice?
Look, they show it to me. I'm not noticing it in general.
Okay, well,
but no, you are right in that.
Yeah, like the amount of content that you're fed, the diversity that you are fed, would you really realize if one went missing? I remember I had a favorite creator of mine go missing from my Instagram feed.
Yeah. Well, that's just it.
Yeah.
They go missing.
And the story and everything.
But you'd be like, oh, what happened to them? You'd probably search it up and try to find it again, right?
Yeah.
In that way. For example, if I freeze them, I didn't see you post for like...
Yeah, I'm your close friend.
Well, you know.
It's different.
It's like, oh, what happened to Maya? Well, first I'd be like, hey, haven't seen you from you in a while. You'll get like a DM me, firstly.
I'm glad.
But if it's someone, I've got a good mate down in Melbourne. We don't talk every day. No. But if I haven't seen him, he posts pretty regularly, twice a week or something. If I didn't see him post for a month, I'd be like, oh, wonder what he's up to.
Yeah.
Then I couldn't find him. I'd be like, oh, or he made a new account. I'd follow them again.
Yeah.
So I do think, if you had that reputation, you did have that business prowess in which people liked what you did.
Yeah.
They'll find you again. I don't
know. Some people have weird TikTok handles now. I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, you'll find them.
I think it's hard to keep track of all your favorite creators.
It is.
I don't think that's a expectancy that everyone should have.
I don't think so either.
Remember.
But at the same time, we can't live in fear of the algorithm. We can't. We gotta do our best, which is why we're recording this.
Is it?
Yeah.
The algorithm can't touch us.
They can't touch us. Come at us, algorithm.
Watch me clip this as a shot.
Please don't.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry, okay, back to what we were talking about. How long does cosplay last? So we kind of go through, we discover it ourselves one way or another, then we go in there for the friends. We go in there for wanting to challenge ourselves for doing comps for a while. But even after that kind of hype wears off a little bit, because I'm getting to the stage I'm at now, it's like, oh, why do I go to cons? Because with every con I go to nowadays, I kind of see friends that I saw at last con, half of them aren't there anymore because they may have moved on to other things or they've grown out of it, whatever reason people have. So every con I go to, I kind of find myself, all right, I have to make new friends this con, or the next con I probably won't have no one to talk to.
Yeah. So
it's kind of a new cycle of just kind of meeting people and talking to them, meeting people and talking to them.
I think that's the way it is because cosplay, at the end of the day, is a hobby. It's not like a career yet. Like, it's not an industry. Whereas, like, someone like a engineer is going to be able to always
have a job
and go to the industry events with other engineers, and they're always going to be the same people for years until the end of their career,
Until
you
the
know,
career,
until
well,
like
they won't
70,
stop.
80, yeah, until
And
they
even then,
retire.
there'll be like a senior figure who's highly respected in that industry, right?
Whereas, like, you can't find a career in cosplay, so you're really doing it out of your own free time and your own free resources, which as an adult, the free time that you have becomes less and less and less, unfortunately. That's just how it is. So same as any hobby, like, that you have, dancing, whatever, sports, probably, you know, it's harder to maintain and do throughout your whole life. So I don't think you should expect to cosplay your whole lifetime. I think that's a little bit tough to always make sure to have the time. But also I think that there's not enough draw for you to stay in the community. Unfortunately, the events are just all too the same. There's not a lot of diversity. There's not a lot.
That's what I was going to say as well, because, you know, at some stage you might say, oh, let's travel. You know, you might go interstate or overseas for another con. But even after you've done that, you said, okay, cool, I've seen all the local cons 10 years in a row now.
Yeah.
And I've done 2 overseas cons that were fun. Yeah. And I'm, you know, I've made good friends here. Some of those good friends don't cosplay anymore. You kind of get in the state, it's like, oh, do I want to keep doing this pattern? Because it is a pattern.
It is.
Where you...
It's a big money and time hole.
Money and time hole. And I think as long as you still enjoy it, go for it. But I think the reasons of why you still enjoy cosplay are going to change quite dramatically.
They are, especially when you encounter conflict, which is just unavoidable. People aren't always going to get along, and you will find yourselves, when you're doing a convention weekend, when you're exhausted physically, mentally, of course there's going to, conflict is going to arise. It's going to happen. It's literally a recipe. It's like a melting pot asking for something to happen.
Well, look, in ESOS groups, you could have conflict in a chess club.
Yeah,
I've seen the chess drama lately. Oh my god.
No.
The chess club, you know,
you're right.
In a soccer team or whatever. When people
have
involved,
disagreements.
People disagree.
And that can be a reason for you to not want to do it anymore as well. So it's like becomes even more of a struggle for you to find the motivation to keep going and avoid that burnout. So
you know, well, I mean, the reason I brought this up in the first place, as a topic, is like, why did you even want to talk about this in the first place?
Yeah.
Is because, like I said, my hypothesis is you can cosplay heaps, as much as you want, but there's going to come a stopping point, and I think it's about when you turn 25 to about 30, where you really kind of start to think to yourself.
See, is that when you started at 15?
I started at 16. I started 16.
Okay,
right?
yeah.
So, and it came to a point, I thought about quitting a few times for different reasons, but that thought of like, why am I still doing this? It happened more regularly, a lot more regularly, I think, about 26, 27.
Yeah.
I really had to like dive deep. I'm like, why am I still doing this? What?
Quarter life crisis.
Quarter life crisis, yeah. I had a couple of them, thanks to cosplay. But yeah, I asked myself quite a lot, why am I still doing this? Do I still enjoy it? Is it worth going back into it?
Yeah.
And a big part of, I think, my identity at that point was Jeremy, the cosplayer. So if I took that away from me, it's like, what do I have left? So, touch wood. I don't think there's any wood here to touch. That's wood. I hope cosplay just continues, because I think it's a terrific thing to get into.
Don't slap the IKEA, Jeremy.
Okay, well, I'm sorry, IKEA furniture. I'm sorry. You've done very well for us. Thank you so much.
Oh, continue. Knock on wood.
I hope cosplay goes for a long time, and COVID was it was a weird, kind of bittersweet thing that happened, because...
Oh.
Yeah, because...
I wouldn't say that, but...
it
was horrible.
It was a terrible thing that happened. In terms of...
Good for some very few lucky people.
Very few lucky people who obviously got rich during the thing for whatever reason, but...
Selling toilet paper.
Oh, goodness. On the black market. Oh my goodness. Who would have thought? Anyway, cosplay is great. COVID, terrible. Hate it.
Okay.
Okay, just let me make that straight. But in terms of the timing it came for me and my life for what I want to do with cosplay, it came at a pretty, funnily enough, a good time, because that was coming off the back of me having a pretty big falling out with some friends. It came off the worst con I'd ever been to.
Yeah.
And I was really questioning.
Me too.
Yeah.
Worst con both of us had the same con.
We had the same Sydney.
Yeah. Sydney March
Sydney. I'm looking at you, buddy.
2020.
But I was coming off the back of a terrible con, terrible experience. I really had a quarter life crisis. I called like 3-4 people that night saying, dude, why am I still doing this? And same things, like, you know, cosplay's your identity. What are you going to do afterwards? So for the next while, like, I was forced to not make cosplay. I was forced to not go to cons. I was forced to find other things to do.
Yeah.
And in that time, you know,
because of the lockdowns.
Because of the lockdowns, I spent a lot of time at home, a lot of time doing other hobbies. And I, you know, when we were starting to get to cons again, just this year, wasn't it?
Yeah. No, last year we had like a few events.
Few events,
yeah.
So I went back and, you know, just like everyone else, come back to a con, and I was thinking, oh, like, do I still like this? Is this something I still enjoy? And I did funnily enough, I found, one thing I did learn, this cosplay circle is bigger than you think. You might think that, hey, look, it's such a small community in Australia. Like, how many people go to a con? Like, so many.
Yeah.
Several thousand.
Yeah.
And your whole experience of cosplay isn't going to be based around this group of 10 people you had to fall out with.
No.
It's much bigger than that.
It is.
So if you think, I can't go back to cosplay because I had a bad falling out with these people, or I had a breakup with this person, and I can't bear to see them again, you will make friends with other people. I can almost guarantee it.
It's also a small world, though, as well.
It is a small world.
Literally at ACACON, I had some nice guy came up to me and he was like, oh, you're this guy's cousin, right? I'm like, how the heck do you know me from someone's cousin? Like, my family's not that tight.
Right.
And he lives in Japan at the moment, so I haven't seen him in quite a few years now. But he was like, yeah, you're this person's cousin. You went to, they went to uni together. And I was like, wow, it's such a small world.
It's a small world.
Yeah.
I've got a cousin down in Sydney. He's more of a photographer, cosplay sometimes. But because obviously I'm of Asian descent, he is as well.
Yeah.
But his dad is Australian.
Yeah.
So he doesn't really look Chinese at all. So, I catch up with him and it's like, how do you guys know each other? It's like, it's my cousin. And they're like, no way. No way. So it's a small world because they think, you're that person's cousin. That makes no sense whatsoever.
Cousins don't usually look that alike, do they? They can look very different.
They can.
Yeah, especially in like mixed racial families. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very rude of that person.
No. But like we laugh at it because it is quite funny. It's like, we're related. And it's like, no way. No, we are. So, but I was saying, just the community is bigger than you think.
Yeah.
So I think if for whatever reason you're finding it a tough time to think, I don't like cosplay anymore, or I'm thinking about quitting because I had a bad falling out with someone, or I just don't get along with someone else, but you still genuinely like making costumes and you genuinely like cosplaying, I'd urge you to stick in it and do it because you want to do it, not because someone else is giving you a bad time.
Yeah, don't let anyone else stop you from doing something that you enjoy. That's any hobby.
Yeah, if you want to stop, that's up to you, but don't let them decide for you.
No, definitely. Yeah. Don't let other people... There's always new friendship groups that you can join as well. I find that, like, if you feel stuck in one, don't feel that that's, like, your people. Like, keep going until you find... You don't question...
Find your tribe.
Yeah, absolutely. No, definitely, because it'll make you feel safer at conventions. It'll make you have a...
Better time.
People to talk to when you need... Yeah.
Because I think initially you go around like, if this is my one friend, or my brother in this case, I don't know anyone, don't talk to anyone, but now whenever I go to a con, Brisbane especially, but whenever I go interstate too, have a chat with someone, sitting there chatting for a while, then someone else comes along, you're like, oh my god, I say hi to this person, and you spend the whole day just talking to people more than actually going to the con.
What a convention is, isn't it?
Oh, just a catch-up. Big catch-up in costume. That's the fun part about it.
What's the next convention you're going to?
Oh, Brisbane Supernova's next week.
This weekend.
Yeah.
This coming weekend.
5 days away. Oh my god.
Yep.
That's the last one for the year.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think after that I'll have a big break again. You're like, Jeremy, are you doing that thing again where you're reconsidering cosplay?
He is.
There's still a few things I want to do.
Even before WCS, you're like, I don't know.
Yeah. Look, I was at that stage.
Like,
still
one more
on that
comp,
stage.
I guess.
Well, look, I think going to it again, it's still a very fun social activity.
Isn't that what you said, though?
Yeah.
Yeah, you literally said right before WCS, you're like, all right, this is the last
Look, last
one,
competition.
Yeah.
Last competition, absolutely.
And then I was like, haha, no, you're coming to Japan with me.
I'm like, I'll do it one more time. Okay. Might as well. Now that we're this far, I'm gonna do it again.
Yeah.
But I think next year I'll see how I go. I think because this year's been pretty fun.
Yeah.
It's been pretty fun for conventions.
I'm glad.
There's been up and downs, but as always.
Yeah.
But I'll stick in a bit longer, see if there's other reasons to go. But like I said, as I'm getting to more 30s age, starting with 30s, every friend I make now, I can almost guarantee they're going to be younger than me, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I think it's good to have a variety of friends from all over the place, same age, older, younger, but you have the conversation with, for example, the conversation I have with you, we can talk about tier 4 friend things, things from here and there, which is cool.
Yeah.
But obviously for someone who's let's say tier 1, tier 2 friends, which I've got those as well.
Yeah.
You can only talk about, I guess, what costume you're doing today for so long, really, and then there's nothing wrong with having tier 1, tier 2 friends, but I'd like to kind of progress people, like you said, to become better friends with them, get to know them better, and see if there is that social chemistry between us, because I'd like to have lots of people over for a barbecue and play Smash Bros and whatever. It's fun. But, you know, take away cosplay. Is there anything to the friendship after that?
Yeah, that's an interesting thought. Yeah.
And, you know, say for whatever reason, if I did stop going to conventions because I just wasn't enjoying it anymore.
I think it's healthier. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, that's okay.
I do think it's healthier to find yourself around people who value you for more than just the cosplayer, because I think I've been in a few relationships or friendships, where people just want to use you as a character, or you'll fit perfectly.
You'll fit perfectly for this.
As my cosplay boyfriend, you know what I think? Like, you probably get placed in those roles a lot.
Oh, it's okay. Like, I've done it before, but I think, thankfully, I'm in a healthy relationship now, which is one of those give and take ones. Like, oh, you do this with me? Cool, I'd love to. And, like, would you like to do this with me? If you don't, that's fine, you know. But I think cosplay groups are something I like coming back to, whether it be, you know, with a partner or with a cosplay partner or even just with a friend group. Yeah. I think it's always something fun to come back to.
Do you have any on the bucket list? Surely not.
Oh, dear. Okay.
Would you do an Auron High School group?
I never watched it.
You've never seen it?
I never watched it.
Oh my god.
I know.
You should go watch it. It's really good.
Look,
it's good to like chuck up on the back while you're doing something else.
I'm through Soul Eater at the moment.
Okay, yeah,
so
that's good.
That's going through that.
Okay, Soul Eater group.
So it's funny because I crossed off all of my like dream costume. Like if I die tomorrow, I'm happy kind of thing. That's all done.
Okay.
It's all done. So one left is Chrono Crusade, maybe.
I don't know.
That's about like a nun with guns and
I think
and her demon partner.
Photos. Yeah. Okay.
I know that'd be like cool prosthetics and demon wings and.
More of that. Good.
Yeah.
Sounds like Lewis.
Just less prosthetic. Less stilts and more prosthetics.
It's your style now.
Just hot demon men. Oh, Lewis. Oh. He's sitting in my garage still. He's having a good time. I should have pulled him out for Halloween.
You should have. You should have set him up.
Tonight.
It's tonight. You still can.
Today's Halloween. We're recording this on Halloween.
Yeah, happy Halloween. Trick or treat.
Trick or treat. You've had one trick or treater come to the door.
We had a little girl come to the door and we had no candy.
And she was hiding. Mine was hiding in the garage.
I felt so bad.
She couldn't break that poor little girl's heart
She was in a little pirate costume.
Couldn't break her heart. You couldn't go up to her and say, I'm so sorry.
It was like,
we don't have candy.
She was like so tall. Not tall at all. We don't have any candy. I'm sorry.
It's probably going to be too late, but make sure you're prepared as a cosplayer to give out candy to your local cosplayers.
I put a sign on the door saying, sorry, no candy.
Yeah. Oh, did you?
Yeah, but it's like this big.
Oh, they're little. They'll read it. I
put it at little past and eye level.
They'll read it. Well, look, since we've started recording this, we haven't had any knocks on the door.
True.
So your sign must be working.
Good. True. I'm glad I put it up. I didn't even think of that. Oh my goodness.
Look, wild. I think we're coming to the kind of end of, I guess, this podcast. But for you, you've probably come to the conclusion sometimes where you've questioned, do I want to cosplay?
Yeah.
What's been the draw that's actually brought you back?
Brought me back. Definitely the opportunities that I've been given to like cosplay on more of a professional level. That's I would say, because I like I get a lot of gratification, I guess, out of having my achievements kind of recognized. So that's cool. A really good feeling. To be able to then have a booth at ACOCON, that was a really good feeling. Yeah. To do that, I was motivated. I felt really like, yeah, I did this. I can make this happen. Nice. I can make some cool prints and like help my friends, Laura, Carrara, Fox, and Benny also do their Polaroids and everything. Cool. And also kind of pull them up and be like, yeah, see what's possible. Like you guys can do this too.
Because they're pursuing something similar. They are, that's cool.
Yeah. So they really want to do streaming as well, like, on Twitch. Yeah, gaming. I think Carrara has already.
I think she's already streaming.
Yeah, she's already been streaming.
Keep it up, now. Laura. We're cheering for you.
Yeah, ganbare. But yeah, motivating back in. I think I still have quite a few dream cosplays that I haven't touched. I think I've mentioned to you, where I put them on such a high pillar that I'm like, no, I can't do them because I'll have to do it perfectly.
You're going to do it. You're going to have to do it.
I'm going to have to before I like quit cosplay, but I'm not quitting anytime soon.
Well, that's what I think, like we're saying, 25 to 30, that's the age range, right? In which people would start considering it more.
Yes.
I reckon, honestly, as a friend, do it before something happens, which might kill your motivation.
Okay.
So don't wait till you get to like, this is the end of my lifespan of cosplay. Okay. Do it now-ish.
Okay. Yes, Jeremy.
You'll be thanking me later.
It's honestly good advice because you never know what might happen. There might be another goddamn there won't be another panini, but I swear to God, yeah, you never know what's going to happen.
You know what's going to happen, so...
Yeah, take every opportunity you get, I guess.
And even if you feel like, I'm not good enough to do this yet, give it a try. Give it a try, because you don't know what's going to happen. I'm glad, like, I don't know if you came down to MadFest 2019, Melbourne. I did, like, this angel with black wings or something. And
no, I wasn't at that one.
That's okay. It's from a series called Dear Angel. Anyone who knows it, love you. That's my favourite series, or one of my favourite series. If I watched it now, it'd be terrible.
Okay.
I'm like, no, in my brain, it was good as a 14-year-old.
Yeah.
That was one I definitely said, this character's too cool. Jeremy should grow off a bit, put on some muscle, and it'll be good. And I'm glad I did, because I don't think I could have done it any better.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Now it's done, and because I made it out of pleather, it's all fallen apart.
Fuck.
I got photos.
I was about to bring up the weather, and that is from the weather, destroying it. But yeah, a lot of the ones on my dream cosplay list are because of weather. Like, I don't want to wear a suit and, like, a long... It's so hot here. It's always hot here.
They're all like, winter costumes. By the sounds of it.
They are, yeah. Or, like, longer, yeah. But... Okay, I'll do them.
Do them.
We'll do them.
So, guys, that's... well, anything before we wrap up, is there anything else you want to kind of add to, like, my hypothesis of...
Well, one thing is that because there are cosplayers who join a lot later in life, so I feel you don't want to, like, constrict them, of course, because if you're only discovering cosplayer as a mom or as a dad in your 50s, 60s, 70s, like, don't be afraid to still try it. I think there's absolutely so much motivation for you to still give it a go.
There are still people to meet who are older in the community. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And, like, there's still costumes you can make and suit. And
there's some that I would suit if I was an old man, honestly.
I know.
It'd be great.
Yeah, I'm jealous. There's a lot of more old man characters than there are old lady characters that aren't villains. Yeah. But I know, because, like, even the local cafe that we like to go to, I know the owner, he's like, God, I wish I had done that when I was young. But it's like, no, you can still give it a go now. Like, yeah.
And they'll be like, but I'm too old now. Or,
so I think...
You've got more responsibilities later.
Yeah, I think your hypothesis... I'm not a science person. Your hypothesis is correct if you give it... It's like, I think cosplay, you can do it for about 10 to 15 years.
10 to 15 years?
Before you, like... kind of accomplish everything that you probably want to accomplish.
And unless you're, like, a business owner, like, you start doing something which you start selling at cons or something, or you make a career out of it, like you said, where you start getting paid for doing these kinds of things, I think you're going to find you're going to start to run out of reasons to want to cosplay.
Yeah.
So I bring this up. 10 to 15 years. So I bring this up because if you're a cosplayer now who's, like, under 25, cosplay as much as you can and enjoy the heck out of it. And because unfortunately, I'm just going to say, it's not going to last. It's going to... The way that you look at cosplay is going to change.
Yeah, actually, I wish I'd known that when I first started, honestly.
You got years on me, so keep going.
No, but, like, when I first started out, I do wish I had that advice. Because I remember you'd always, like, save the good champagne for another day. Yeah. But, like, no.
That day, you never know when it's going to come.
Drink the champagne.
Drink it.
Wear the nice costume.
Buy
the nice costume.
A lot of my friend groups that I grew up with at my age, they've pretty much all moved on. So anyone that kind of I saw when I was a young one, I rarely see. There's maybe 2, 3 that still hang around and I see them. I'm glad to see them, because it means they're still as into it as I am. But
yeah. But also, if you're always doing your dream cosplays, you're going to be so freaking passionate.
Yeah.
You're going to be like, yeah, love this. Even if it's, like, the smallest meetup and you're, like, doing a character that you love, you're going to be a lot more passionate. Yeah. Rather than, like, I guess I have that in the closet. I guess I'll wear that.
Oh, my goodness.
I think I've been guilty of that a few times recently where, of course, when you can't, like, there's work commitments, when you can't make time for cosplay, you just got to have stuff. But, don't save it for another day.
Don't save it
for too long.
Your dream costume, do it today. Don't let your dreams be memes.
It's time! What is the Shia LaBeouf meme? I don't know. Don't let your dreams be dreams! Yesterday, you said tomorrow.
Yesterday, you said tomorrow.
Is this going to be copyright claimed?
No, we're good. We're doing our own spin on it.
Okay, good.
Cool. So, yeah, that was our topic for today. Your cosplay is only going to last between, again, my hypothesis, or our hypothesis, between 25 and 30. If you started young, if you started as a teenager, if you started in high school... It's got a time limit. So, get on it. Love it.
Enter those big comps.
Do it. Challenge yourself. Do everything.
See what you're capable of.
Do everything that you've ever wanted to do. Do it.
This is so, like, positivity. mindset motivation out here.
Good. You don't want to be like, guys, don't do it. Don't do your dream. No.
That's true.
It's terrible.
All right.
Cool.
Thanks for a fun episode. Thank you for tuning in and listening, and thanks for coming up to my place to do this again.
We'll probably do it again sometime.
I reckon.
Oh, well, I think it's healthy if we swap. You know, 1 week my place, 1 week your place.
Probably.
Petrol prices, etc.
Yeah, it's
good.
expensive. Cost of living.
Yeah. So thanks very much if you tuned in for this entire thing. By the way, we're now on Google Podcasts and Spotify.
I didn't know if I was going to say it or not.
We're on Spotify, that's okay. Yeah, so on Spotify, we're on Google, we're trying to get onto Apple. Apple's got a few hoops to jump through.
We're also on
iHeartRadio and
Amazon Music.
Amazon Music.
Yeah.
If you want to help us out, or if you're already on our YouTube, you give us that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and if you're on the podcast platforms particularly, please subscribe and rate us.
Yeah.
Give us a rating, because that kind of shows people, hey, that's a good cosplay podcast.
Good podcast.
You should listen to it more.
Yeah.
And if you've got suggestions for other topics, please let us know.
Let us know in the comments. Because I think you can't comment on Spotify, but you can on YouTube.
So. Head over to YouTube, even our Instagram.
Yeah. Send us a DM.
Send us a DM.
If you don't want it to be like public as well, if you have like a private thing you want to anonymously share, just DM us.
Let us know, because we're going to run out of topics eventually too, I think.
Do you think so?
Well,
I feel like you and I could be locked up and talk about lots of things.
Until we pass, oh god,
they just might not be very interesting.
Oh, I mean, depending on the audience.
Yeah.
See, we're even finding it tough to end the podcast.
Are we?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's okay.
Thank you for tuning in today.
Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next week.
See you next time. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Be safe.